All right, let's dive into one of philosophy's most powerful and honestly most vivid metaphors, the tightrope walker, from Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra. It's this incredible story about risk, about courage, and really about what it means to push the limits of being human.
So, right at the heart of this whole thing is this really dramatic idea. Nietzsche is telling us that our existence, well, it's not solid ground. It's a dangerous, shaky rope stretched between what we were, our animal past, and what we could become. And that journey, that crossing, is what defines us.
So let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in this chaotic marketplace. It's called the Motley Cow. The philosopher Zarathustra, he comes down from his mountain solitude to share his big ideas. But what does he get? Laughter, mockery. You see, the crowd isn't looking for a challenge. They're looking for comfort.
So, what is it this crowd actually wants? Well, they're yelling for something Nietzsche calls the last man. And look, this isn't some evil villain. No, it's almost worse. He's just mediocre. The last man is the ultimate conformist, the person who's traded any shot at greatness for an easy, safe life, just blinking away any higher purpose.
And this right here, this just lays out the central conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got Zarathustra, who's all about self-overcoming, about striving, about embracing danger. And on the other side, you've got the crowd, who just wants the last man, a life of pure comfort, total safety, and, complete stagnation. So right as the crowd is chanting for their comfortable little hero, a completely different figure shows up, the tightrope walker. He is the living, breathing answer to their mockery. He's Zarathustra's philosophy made real. And with him, the going over begins. Now, for all the people in the marketplace, this is just entertainment. It's a show. They're watching for a vanishing spectacle, right? Just a quick thrill to break up the boredom of their day. They aren't looking for any deep, profound meaning. Not at all.
But, and this is so important, for the walker himself, this is everything. This isn't just a spectacle, it is the going over. He is literally crossing an abyss, sure, but he's also metaphorically leaving the safety of the crowd behind, moving from one state of being to a higher, more dangerous one. It's an existential act.
You have to understand that very first step he takes onto the wire, it's a huge deal. It's a deliberate choice to move beyond the safety of the herd, to leave behind what Nietzsche calls contented stupidity. It is absolutely a noble choice, but it's an incredibly dangerous one to face that abyss head-on. This brings us to a really fascinating question about mindset. I mean, who would actually choose a path like this? Well, it would have to be someone who doesn't just put up with danger, but someone who makes it their calling, who actively chooses the unpredictable world over the safe one. Okay, so this table breaks it down perfectly. You've got the last man, who avoids danger at all costs just to be secure. You've got the forest saint, who retreats from it to find some spiritual peace. But the tightrope walker? He's totally different. He makes danger his calling. His goal is to affirm what's called the spirit of becoming, this endless, challenging process of growth and transformation. And the walker? Man, he is this idea in the flesh. He is literally a transition in motion. His very existence on that rope proves that humanity isn't some fixed destination we've already arrived at. We're a bridge, a transition, that has to be crossed with courage. His act is a total rejection of that ancient bargain, the deal where we trade our potential for a little bit of safety. He says no to that. He chooses the chaos, the risk, the beauty of this unpredictable mortal world. He's affirming life, not just trying to preserve it. Okay, so what's the real takeaway here? What's the point of all this struggle? See, it's not really about whether he successfully makes it to the other side. It's about why the striving, the act itself, is everything. The goal, that potential on the other side of the rope, is what Nietzsche calls the Übermensch, or the Overman. Now, this isn't Superman we're talking about. It's a state of being. The Overman is the one who has mastered themselves, who creates their own values, and who embraces the earthly struggle as the source of all meaning. But here's the kicker. What does it actually cost to strive for something like that? Because the path to becoming something more, it's not free. It demands a serious sacrifice. And this is where we get to the core paradox of the whole story. To go over, to rise up, you also have to be willing to go down. The going over is also a down going. You have to be willing to let go of, to sacrifice your current comfortable self to make room for what you could become. So, When you boil it all down, the journey across that abyss teaches us two really powerful truths. First, the value is all right here, on Earth. There's no heavenly reward waiting for you. The meaning is found in the struggle. And second, if you want to become more, you have to sacrifice who you are right now. Growth requires loss. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most sobering part of this whole thing, the incredible courage it takes to risk everything, including, and maybe especially, the risk of failure. By choosing this path, the walker becomes what Nietzsche calls a dead comrade to Zarathustra. What a phrase, right? It means he's a spiritual ally, a fellow creator who gets it. He understands that real striving means risking total annihilation. The moment he steps on that rope, he has already accepted the possibility of the fall. And this really gets to the core of it all. You just can't separate greatness from risk. It's impossible. The potential for huge achievement is always tied to the potential for a catastrophic fall. You can't have one without the other. So, in the end, the tightrope walker's presence in that marketplace is this powerful, defiant symbol. It proves that even today, amidst what you might call the low hum of modern unease, with all its calls for safety and comfort, there are still some people out there willing to try the dangerous crossing to become something more. And that leaves us with this final thought. This whole parable, it isn't just about some guy on a rope. It's about us. The tightrope walker proves that some people are willing to try. So the real question it leaves us with is this: what is the abyss that we are meant to cross?